Welcome to another episode of the Sippin and Trippin podcast, where we connect with amazing people. Today's topic is the sequel to part one, and that is why do black men refuse therapy? I'm your host, Desmond Black, and the two gentlemen that's sipping and tripping with me today are the two returning guests from part one, Mr. Rodney and Mr. Chef Dennis. How y'all doing today?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Glad to join you, man.
Yep,
Excited.
good
That's
here,
what's
man.
that's what's up.
Happy
That's
New
what's up.
Year's,
Chef?
Happy New Year's, happy 2025. Let's turn up, turn up.
Mm.
Y'all right.
There goes the energy. That was like the energy though.
So,
So you see your levels is like here, but now it's like, oh, we got to pick that up a little bit, Chef.
Let's go,
he
y'all. What
getting
y'all?
there. He waking up, man.
Yeah, waking up. I had a
So,
lot of stuff to do today. Come on, let's go. What we talking? What we doing? Let's speed it up
so,
now.
so,
Meow.
so I'm, I'm not sure where we left off before, but obviously, this is a new episode, new show, new day. So we're just gonna jump right in there. What's up, Amy? Um, so one of the things is when I was younger, right? Like I found that when I counseled people, right, and I was able to talk to them, right, it was also helpful and beneficial for myself because I came to the realization that, like, in talking to people, it was counseling for me, right? That was counsel for me, and it was something that I needed to be able to branch out there and speak to other people about my problems, or maybe not just my problems, just hearing other people's problems. Because now you see things, you see life through a different lens, right? Like, um, so like I said, counseling other people is also counseling yourself, right? Um, so what do y'all think about that?
I mean, for me, that's definitely true. I mean, I started the podcast Dad Mentality for myself. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And a lot of times I bring on different people and have different conversations, but but in reality, it's really all for me. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like, hold on, my mic going off? You're a guy. Anyway,
Nah, you,
It
but
good.
sounds
You
good
really,
to
good.
me. I don't.
yeah, but it's all good. I was doing something with my computer, but anyway, yeah, but it's really all for me because you know, uh, the first part about knowing the first thing is you got to, in order to counsel somebody else, you really got to know yourself. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And you really got to know what you're capable of, what you're not capable of, and really have and really have that other person's interest, as the forefront. But if you still worried about yourself that you can't listen to that other person and what they're having, their issue, then it's not going to be helpful. But
Right.
I took a lot of this time in meditation and taking time to learn about me and learning who I really am. You know what I'm saying? Because and to be honest with you, man, we as children and when we're young, we build a lot of bad habits. We build a lot of bad things as protection, because when you're young, you don't know how to protect yourself. You protect yourself your best way you can. So sometimes it's running away, that whole fight or flight syndrome,
Mm.
where
Mhm.
as a child, you fight because of your feelings, or you run from your feelings. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It really becomes and you still do that when you become older, in my opinion. When you get older, whatever those things that you used to use to bring yourself back, to bring yourself or protect yourself as a youth, when you're adult, you still tend to go towards those directions. It may not be exact, but it's still that thing that you did. Like if you ran when you was younger from the confrontation, then typically when you're older, you're gonna run from it too.
Right.
So I mean, it's just something, but you also got to learn yourself and really have those one-on-one conversations, with yourself. And then, it makes it so that you're able to help somebody else because, it becomes a lot of times you can relate to what people are talking about. And, the things like
Right.
we discussed last week, I think that's what made that, I mean, not last, whenever it was, a couple weeks ago, when we
Yeah.
had that discussion, I think a lot of people liked it because everybody could relate to a lot of the things that were said that day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody has family, everybody has issues, everybody has things that happen in their childhood that you know a lot of people can relate to. So it's
Right.
just really about knowing yourself and knowing how you can relate to somebody else. And also sometimes you just gotta be in the ear, man. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you can't even give advice for some of the stuff that people come to you and talk to about it. The best thing you can do is hear them and then hear them and then acknowledge them and then work on whatever you can. But because I really feel like when people do come to talk to me, it's not to hear my advice. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
really just to hear, okay, well, A, to get it out, because one,
Right.
getting it out is super important. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Getting it out there and having and putting it where it is a discussion, but you also have to be open for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And sometimes that can be very difficult. So.
Right. And that's what I was trying to say before. Like, just, me counseling other people was counseling for myself because it allowed me to get things out, as you just stated. And it also allowed me to release all that negative energy that I had within myself. So I agree with you when you say that the first step is getting to know you as an individual, right? Like, cause I'm still, as much as like, I was stubborn and I was like, I know who I am. But like, as I got older and I listened to people like you guys and other people, I realized that I truly don't, I'm still learning myself, right? Like the limitations and my breaking points, like I might have suppressed things, but it comes out here and there. And some people, they get caught off guard and they be like, oh, that's not the person I know. You know what I'm saying? So that lets me know that I still have work to do. And that's the thing. Like we never get too old to learn things, and when people lose sight of that and they feel like they got everything figured out, they got everything mastered, that's where they go astray. Shout out to Rhonda on the Rocks podcast. I'm not sure if y'all got to listen to her at all. She was on my last episode. She's currently has 8 episodes up. Rhonda on the Rocks is on Spotify. But
shout out to you, Rhonda, from the Chi-Town. I watched some of the episode. I'm gonna finish it off.
Yeah, from Chicago. Yeah. Anything you want to add, Chef?
No, I'm just listening to you guys right now.
You don't got nothing to add about that, Chef, man? Oh, you must be sick. What's going on, man? You all right? Something going on at home, brother? You want to discuss it right now?
No.
This ain't the chef I know. The chef I know ain't going to give up an opportunity to talk. Hold on. Maybe I'm on the wrong show with the wrong person. My bad.
2025 got a little different direction. Still same energized. I'm still energized. Just I want to hear you guys. I want to, say the right things. I want to chime in the right time. You know what I'm saying? You guys are saying something that's good. So, I'm loving every bit of it right now. I do have a lot of work. So, just listen to you guys right now. Oh, don't worry. Chef Dennis is here in the building. Loud and clear. Rocky. Hey, Rhonda on the Rocks. Holla at my man Beast. Holla at me, Chef Dennis. We got something for you. I heard you. Yeah, I heard you. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. I heard you say you don't do religion, but come on over to What's Cooking. We got some fire for you. All right.
She said she's in the faith, but she don't consider herself religious. That's what she said.
I got something for her. And this ain't an attack. This ain't an attack. I got something.
Oh God.
That's what I'm about. I'm about changing perspective and doing things different. Man, and Dad's mentality too. He got something great. So come on, check us out. I ain't gonna say subscribe. Check us out. And if you like what we doing, subscribe.
Subscribe
to me. I don't care if you like it or not.
So I gotta let you know. And you too, Amy. I saw you too. I saw your podcast with Sippin and Trippin. So don't worry. I saw you too, Amy. So come on through and let us know.
That's my favorite person. We're my favorite person. Where Allison at, man? I don't see Allison up in here. That's my favorite person. What's up, Lady Allison?
She at work right now.
I'll still give shout out to Lady Allison.
I know that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. She was like, "Oh, I'm mad as hell. I gotta watch it later." But things happen. Hold on. She said, "Did y'all buy your merch?"
There she go. My girl. I'm trying. Yeah, she got merch. Out.
Hey, Rhonda. Let them know where they can get the merch from.
Yeah, put that link in the chat. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but so speaking about therapy though, like right now, I wish, like I'll be, if I'm honest with myself, I would love to do therapy now, but my work schedule and the commute to work is just too much, and I don't have that time to dedicate to therapy. But shit, it's plenty of times I need it. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys know.
Hold on. Time out. Chef, did you just catch him say he don't got time to take care of himself?
No,
No,
was giving.
I ain't say that. I ain't say
Oh,
that.
I'm about to chime in on right now. I'm about to get him right now. Let me get him. All right. First of all,
This is crazy. Go ahead.
First of all, what happens is therapy. I don't care who it is. You have to call them first and set up time that's suitable for you. So whatever days you off, they'll make available for you. So don't go there. Don't say that. You listen. You tell them, all right, I'm off this day. I can, they'll find somebody for you. Now it's up to you if you like that therapist and say, okay, I like this person. But you have to find the right therapist for you at too. So you got to get to know them. You got to talk with them a little bit because they do have an open session where you don't have to pay, and you talk to them. You say, you know what? All right, I'm vibing with this person.
The consultation, yeah.
Yeah, you like, all right, I'm vibing with this person. So it's,
and then
it's
the
ways
next
to do
thing,
it.
the next thing, Chef, is that I want to say is you not giving therapy is stealing from your kids. It's stealing from your significant other. It's stealing from, you're not stealing only from yourself. You're stealing from them because you're taking your time to get yourself right is the most important thing you can do for your family. Like, fuck, I'm sorry. I'm still, God's still working on my curse, and I keep on saying that. But whenever I get emotional, they slip out. You know what I'm saying? But you know, forget all the other stuff. If you're not taking care of you and you're not bringing the best version of yourself to the table, then you cheating from everyone. You're cheating from everyone who's around you. You're cheating them. You're not just cheating yourself. You're cheating them too, because I guarantee your kids and Lady Allison, they love the healthier version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? They love the healthier version, the healthiest version that you can bring to the table. Like, you know, and all you're doing is cheating, you know, like I said, cheating them and cheating. You're not only cheating yourself, you're cheating them. When you come up with excuses saying, oh, I don't got time, this, that, and the other, you're cheating your family. Think of it that way. You know,
I want to tag in on that too. I want to piggyback off that.
I was about to say that. Hold on, right quick, Chef. That's crazy. That's interesting. She put it up there because I didn't know there was like an online thing you can do. Well, I'm gonna let you say what you're gonna say, and I'm gonna follow up. Go ahead, because I just learned something. I didn't know that.
So the most important thing what Rodney said is this, just to reiterate what he said, is that listen, I don't care if you're married, I don't care if you're in a relationship. You come first, not in a selfish way. Your health comes first because guess what? If you cannot love yourself, you can't love somebody else unconditionally. So you got to love yourself. If mental health is important for you and you need it, you got to do that so you can be able to be at the top of your game for anybody else that you're going to love. If it's your brothers, it's your mother, it's your father, it's your friends, you got to take care of yourself. On the inner you has to be strong because guess what? Sometimes things get rocky. Sometimes things get tough. And if you're not stable enough with your heart, guess what? You can't do that for somebody else. You can't give them a lending hand. You can't give them a shoulder to cry on because you're not right on the inside. So you definitely have to be strong on the inside so you can give somebody else that lending hand or that shoulder to cry on because you're not broke. You know what I'm saying? And that's some people's brokenness. If you're broken, how can you love and cherish somebody else and you broken? You can't do that. That's the same thing with a relationship. You can't give like Ronnie said, you can't 100% give somebody all of you and you broken. You're not even complete. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely need that to be number one. You got to be number one. I always tell my wife, tell her this all the time. I said, listen, and I tell everybody in the world, I will never let nobody steal my joy. I'm going to always be happy, even in the midst of bad times. I'm going to still smile. I'm going to still, I'm going to be frustrated, but I'm still going to make it through. And I'm not letting nobody come into my world, my circle, and tear me down and talk negative and give me like, no, get out of here. I'm shooting it down. No.
And
I love that. Go ahead.
I've been married 23 years, and I really feel like over this weekend, me and my wife have finally stepped over a 20 something year hurdle. It still takes time. Like Rhonda says over here, it's a journey. it doesn't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? And people look at us and be like, oh, y'all have the perfect relationship, this, that, and the other. And don't get me wrong, in a lot of aspects we do. But we still, we still have flaws. We're not perfect, neither one of us. So we make mistakes. And it's still, even in 23 years, we're still getting better. You know what I'm saying? We're still getting better. We're still growing. And even as a person, you have to do that too. You've been a person as long as you've been a person. Every day you should be, that strive should be to be getting better. If you get 1% better than you was yesterday, then you still moving towards the right direction. Eventually you'll get to that 100%. Or I believe, in my opinion, you never get to 100%. You're always striving. There's always something else. There's always something to do this to move yourself in that same right direction. So, that's all I got to say.
Well, see, so to circle back a little bit, what I was saying is I don't have the time. It's like, it's in my household, my kids is extremely difficult. And I've had many conversations with my boss at work, and I said, I feel like therapy is a must and it's something that I need to do. And right away, he was like, well, the job, right? The company offers therapy, right? So he gave me the plug. I called them and I tried to set it up twice. And I tell him like a week in advance, and he'd be like, oh, go ahead, chef. You got the finger up. Go ahead.
Yes, I do want to say this to you. When you make it priority, no matter what, you'll find a way. So don't. I'm stopping you because you have to speak it into existence. You have to say, "This is what I'm going to do." Stop saying. I want you to stop saying. And you say therapy. We talk about men and black men in therapy. And I'm not a therapist, but I'm saying this because guess what? I've been through therapy, and this is something that they told me. Stop saying I'm not. Say I'm going to.
I can't.
I can't, because let me tell you something. It's just like when we were kids, and just like when you from a teenager to a man, it's like repetitions. You know how when you go to the gym, right, and you able to push up 215 pounds or 225, right, and you stop for a while, muscle memory, and so now you can't do it right away. You got to get back. You'll be able to do it, and so it's the same thing. Once you do it, and you start to constantly say it and do it, you'll start to do it. And you say, you know what? I got to do this. No matter what. You're not going to say, oh, I can't do this today. No, you're going to be like, look, listen, I got something important to do. You know what I'm saying? And you got to make it priority.
Chef Dennis, 215 might be too much for Desmond, though. That might be too much. He might need to start at like 145 or something like that.
145. Yo, listen, I ain't no little dude like 145.
You know what I'm saying? He only get one plate. Only one plate, man. That's it. Go ahead.
That's funny as hell. That's funny as hell. But I think you kind of misconstrue what I was saying, right? I wasn't saying like mentally I can't do it, but what I'm saying is when I'm trying to work it into my schedule, especially with work, and then if work say, oh, okay, you need this time for your therapy session that you schedule with the company, and then you sit there and say, oh, this is some bullshit, you being selfish. So then I get mad and I shut myself out, right? Like I don't want nothing to do with nobody. I go somewhere where I could just be isolated from everybody. And that's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? And then when I come home, it's chaos. It's chaos. Chef, I got multiple dogs. I got multiple kids. It's chaos once I come home. So, and it's like, as much as I say I want to spend time with myself, I have me time, I'll sleep within an hour of coming home. And I hate it. Then I wake up early in the morning, like 3 in the morning. I'm like, do I stay up? Do I go to bed? I got work in the morning, right? 9 times out of 10, I go to bed. Now I wake up mad at the world, like, damn, I really don't do shit for myself. That's all I'm talking about. But eventually I will do the therapy thing, because every once in a while, what I've been doing is I pay $100 for a therapist, right? It's over the phone. And it's like $100 every time I feel like I need to talk to somebody. So that's why I say going to a building, I'm not saying it's going to be cheaper. I don't know what that's going to come to, but I just want to be able to schedule a time when I'm going to a building in a setting outside of my chaos at home and just sit and talk and get things out.
I think me personally, because I know you, and I've been through therapy, right? And that's how I become the man I am today, right? You need in person.
You keep saying we all three been to therapy. I've been to therapy before.
Nah, but your therapist,
you can do online.
No, he can.
My therapist was in person. My therapist was in person.
Constant.
That was constant. 2 different occasions in my life. It was constant.
No, I'm talking about now. I'm talking about now. I ain't talking
I
about
don't do.
before. I'm talking
Now
about
it's
now.
like on the phone. It's here and there. If I feel like I want to spend the money and I feel like I need to talk to somebody, yeah, I got
Rodney, why
$100
you
for you.
looking like that, Rodney?
Because there's so many different ways. Like
I didn't know.
my
I
first
ain't say.
therapist, my
Yeah,
first
I didn't say.
therapist was free because he was writing a book. And he
Oh
was like,
shit.
as long as I can use whatever we talk about, it won't use your name, this, that, and the other. I'm in the book. You know, it's good. And I was like, sweet. I don't have no problem. You know me, I talk about anything. I don't give a shit. It's kebab. Damn it, trying to still trying to cancel, but yeah, like I said, so there's guys out there. And I mean, my last time I looked for a therapist, I went online and I found an online therapist. I put in exactly what I want. I wanted a therapist near me. I wanted them black and I wanted them male. You know what I'm saying? And it gave me a list of therapists, and a lot of those therapists were I'm in the DC area, so a lot of them were in DC. But yeah, they were like, yeah, we'll do online consultations, this, that, and the other. I don't, me, I don't need to be in front of you. I can do it just like, part of my therapy session is my show. You watch my show. I'm on therapy all the time on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I got
we said that last show.
great
The last
brothers,
show we
yeah.
said that. Yeah. We said that the
So,
last show.
but I mean, but you can find it, man. It's out there for real. It's
Well,
out there. Big Allison, that's what I'm talking about. I was
there you
looking
go.
for you. I was looking for you.
Shit.
Anyway.
But so what would y'all say if I said that to be a good therapist, you have to spend time in therapy first?
I would definitely my therapist. That is a question I ask. I actually asked my therapist that.
What'd you say?
Ask that question again.
I said, so what are your thoughts on, right? Like, what if I said, in order to be a good therapist, you would have to spend time in therapy first to be a good therapist?
No, I don't agree with that.
Why not? All right, hold on. Let me say this real quick. You know how people say to be a good speaker, you have to be a listener first. You heard that before, right? It's a similar concept.
I never heard that either.
You never heard that? Rodney, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And I asked that question. And if my therapist told me he's never been in therapy, I would not go to him. I wouldn't. That's just me.
Let me spin the block real quick. How about this, Chef? Remember, I think it was on your platform. Remember you and Rodney said, if somebody never been married, you won't take advice from somebody, right? It's the same concept. It's the same concept. So in order to be a good therapist, should you not go through therapy first?
Now, watch this. In therapy, right, it's experience. Sometimes therapists have experienced it, and what makes them good therapists. They didn't go to therapy themselves. Their experience and their education made them aware. So guess what? They said, just like me, I'll give you an example. So for me, right? Guess what? I'm not listening to anybody that it's just me. Everybody got their own perception. If you've never been a parent, I don't want no advice from you. You can say your opinion all you want. I don't want no advice from a person that's never had a child, never had to go endure waking up in the middle of the night. No, you can't give me. You can give me your opinion, but I'm not. My advice, I'm not going to. That's like anything. You want certain people around you that's going to add to your life and pour into your life. So a person that never been a parent, they're not going to tell me how to parent. They're not going to tell me how to discipline my child. That's their opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's experience. So I'm going to listen to somebody that say, I got 5 kids and look, they wasn't always like this. They was bad, or they was disobedient. Okay, well, how did you handle it? I'm going to listen, take what I can take from that person, because guess what? They're a parent.
Right.
You ain't been a parent? No. I'm sorry.
I still feel like you're making this point.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
Because
that's exactly what I was getting at.
For me, I'm not going to a therapist that doesn't go to therapy. I'm not. I don't believe. Then I can't believe you because you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in what you're talking to me and telling me about. That has been a question for me. I've definitely asked that. And shout
therapy, out to therapy is for what? For most likely people that's broken.
Well, who ain't broken?
I'm
Right.
saying that's what therapy is, right?
Yeah,
For people,
yes. Well, no, you don't have to
mentally,
be. It don't have to be that, but yes, I get what you're saying.
and they have some type of mental issues.
No, I don't look at therapy as you have to have a mental issue. I could be
Well,
in the happiest place on earth and mentally and still learn from
no, no.
therapy
So why you need therapy? What was what is if you happy? If you saying you're in a happy, so now you said no mental. So if you're in a happy place, why would you need therapy?
because I want to be in a better place.
You
I want to
already in
be
a
even a better place than I already am. Like I said
He
at the
said
beginning
happy.
of this, I said I don't believe you ever. No one is perfect. No one
Mm-mm.
is. There's always an issue. Every day we're going to run into an issue. I want better. I want better methods of taking care of those issues. I want better methods of helping my wife in the pressure that I may be feeling for her. You know what I'm saying? Or for my
Right.
kids. I want better things. Cause I mean, shit, if I ain't go to therapy, when that little boy was jumping my son, I would have went into the school and beat his ass. You know what I'm saying? I would have better
Yeah.
reasons. That don't mean I'm not good. I may be good personally in what you call it, but this child,
I
jumped
think
my son.
you was wiser. You
Huh?
you was wiser. I don't
Who
think
was
therapy.
wiser? I
I'm talking
told my
about.
son to go in there and beat that little boy's ass first day of school. I said, this shit ain't gonna happen again this year.
No,
I
yeah,
said,
but
so
I'm
you,
saying
Mm-mm.
you wasn't gonna go in there because you.
nah, I told, but
No.
I was ready for his dad though. And then
You're right.
now me, I'll tell y'all the story. My son had and I didn't find out that they were friends. But the
Right.
last day of school, the kid tackled my son, jumped on top of him, and started punching him. Of course, my son fought his way out of it. But this kid they've been having problems all year. So I told him the first day of school, I spent the whole summer, I took him to boxing classes and stuff like that all through the summer. Wasn't playing. First day of school, I said, when you walk into the school, I want you to punch that kid in the face. I'm not going to leave the parking lot. And just tell them to go get your dad. He's outside. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And then when I came inside, I went in and I was like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna tell my son every day until y'all take care of this problem.
Right.
Because I trusted y'all to take care of it and they didn't do nothing. They was just like, oh, it happens. So then we had a big meeting. I come into the meeting, I'm already on 100. I'm ready to mess this dad up. I'm like, good, I want him too. Everybody can catch these hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the dad was leaned back, chilling. He had a smile on his face. I ain't had none of that. I'm sitting there ready. And then turns out that my son and his kid are best friends, and they start fighting when kids do that, you're not my friend no more thing. So apparently it was the last day of school, they was playing some kind of switch or something, and they wouldn't let his kid play. So at the end of the day, he got upset and tackled my son and fought him. You know what I'm saying? Because they wouldn't play with him. Turns out
Right.
they were best friends. So then the next weekend, me, the father, my son, and we're gonna hang out. And they the best of goddamn friends. You know what I'm saying? And now that they saw that me and him hung out, they stopped fighting. Now they don't fight no more. Now they friends. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get I said all that to say that there's other problems is going to happen. Nobody's ever perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Nobody.
ways to learn how to handle things that are better than what I was when I told my son to do. I actually told my son wrong. You know what I'm saying? I should have did some more investigation, but I had my own issues that I put upon him, thinking he getting bullied and beat up. Turns out they just friends. You know what I'm saying? So, and even my best friends fought all the time, and that's the one thing the dad said. He said, I always thought your son would be in my son's wedding. It was like the way that my son talks about your son, he talks about your son like he's the greatest thing on earth. And then when I saw this little boy was smaller than my son. I told him he's just losing a fight. I was like, yo, you ain't getting bullied. This ain't no bully. You just losing a fight. You know what I'm saying? But you don't find out all the information. And if you don't get all the information to get yourself right, then when things pop up spontaneously, you're not going to be ready for those situations. I'm more worried about the situations I'm not ready for than the ones I've already been through.
Right.
But there we go. I'm sorry. Long story. I'm done.
No. You're good. You're good always. See, that's the thing. So, in speaking about that, right? That's the thing. A person can only take but so much before they need to get shit out, right? So my question is this: like, why do so many of us, and when I say us, I mean in the black community, why do so many of us, right, bottle shit up and play like you know like we have to figure it out, like we hold everything in and we like, oh, I don't need therapy. I'll figure it out later. Why do we do that in the black community?
Lack of leadership, bro.
Is that lack of leadership?
Yeah.
On who though? The parents or the individual?
Just that's where it started at. You know what I mean? If you have something, issue, right, and you don't have any male role models in your life, not you guys. I'm not. This is not direct. We talking about the black community, right?
Right.
If you
Yeah.
don't, the young generation, if they don't have that supporting cast, they're not gonna understand that. So they're gonna try. That's where it comes from. The build up of saying, "I'll figure it out." You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And we grew. I mean, I don't have no tragic story. You know what I'm saying? I had my dad in my life.
What you say? You have a tragic story. Stop it.
Boy, I had no tragic story, bro. Was way more people in this life, in this lifetime, that their story is way worse than mine. Trust me.
Well, we not
That's what.
comparing, right? Like,
No, I'm not comparing, but that's what I'm saying. You say therapy. It's
yeah,
reflection on that. That's why we need it so much for this young generation,
right,
because they don't have their fathers in their life. They have a one parent home, their mother raising them, and the mother's doing as much as she can. So guess what? They out there doing whatever. They're finding the right places, but they're not finding the right places. They're looking for the right places to do. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta,
Wait,
you
one
gotta check
second,
that out.
one second, one second, Chef. Hey, Amy, is that a finger up? Like you agree with what he said, or is that a finger up? Like you got something to say? I'm a little confused.
I'm-
The fingers like this. It reminded me of you earlier, Chef. I don't know if she wanted to add something or she just agree.
right.
I don't know.
But yeah, so
But
that's where it balls from, man. Just think about it. These young generations, what they seeing on TV, they think that's what it's supposed to be. They striving
right, right.
to to that type of fame. You don't listen. You don't hear them talking about, oh, majority. I'm talking about majority saying, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a
Mm-hmm.
nurse. I want to be a
Yeah.
teacher. No, you don't hear that. I hate the
Right.
cops. That's what you hear. So
Yeah.
no, I'm keeping it serious, keeping it real and funky. That's what. So guess what? So when they don't have that, you know what I'm saying, and they're not thinking about therapy. They're not thinking about mental awareness. They're not thinking about
Right.
it. And guess what? Watch this. Y'all ready for this? Y'all can agree or disagree. I don't know.
Go
I'm
ahead.
waiting.
Mental awareness. You don't really see that outside of our community that much. It's just
Nah, see, I
that's big.
disagree with that.
Hey, Rodney. So me and Rodney is about the same age. Rodney, when me and you was growing up, right? I I didn't hear that much about that
Well,
mental
Not at
well,
all.
awareness.
now you talk about the times. Back then, the
I,
times was a little bit different. But
that's what I said. Now, now,
your original question was you don't hear about that now, and we hear
I
outside the
said
black
you
community,
do
you hear that a lot.
in
And this
our
is the thing.
community,
Yes, yeah, we do. But
right?
this is the thing. We call ourselves suppressing it, and like I said before, we sit there and push it aside and say we'll deal with that shit later. White people and other races, they're more prone to seeking out that help that they know they need. Black people, we look at it like right in the black community, we look at it like, nah, we got to be strong. That's how we was raised. That's how we was taught. Going to therapy makes us weak, right? And that's our problem, right? Like that's something that's in the black community we have to get past.
All right, I got one for you.
Uh,
So, so you let me tell you the reason why I went to therapy.
Oh God, Amy said she about to join this, so
Yeah, all
go
right.
ahead.
The reason why I did therapy is because I realized that I wanted to be better, right? I went to marriage therapy and then I went to individual therapy because I wanted the things that I knew that was wrong about me, I wanted to fix. I wanted to, change those things. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the type of person when somebody say something about me, oh, multiple people say this, like y'all always say, Rodney,
I'm listening.
you gotta
I
keep
said it. I meant it.
You gotta
Let's
keep
say,
open minded. You gotta keep
Hey,
open minded. So
yeah,
look. So I'll be like, that's why look. I'll be just sitting back sometimes, just listening, saying, okay, really don't try to give my opinion until that's you ask me. And that's it. Because see, I'm the type of person, and that's what I saw in myself, like, growing up in the first marriage into this now new marriage. You know what I'm saying? That's what made me want to do therapy, because I'm like, okay, let me hear what they have to say about me. And I've been to 2 good therapists. Great. Like, next time we get together, I'm gonna send y'all the sheet, and then I'm gonna ask y'all questions. You gotta mark it off. It's like 12 seconds questions. It's like 75 questions. You gotta answer quick, because it tells you about yourself. And before you know it, you looking at the paper, and it shows you who you are, whether you realize it or not. And going to therapy, and I'm telling you, these things like this, if this is a good therapist, they show you that. And this paper, it showed me, and I'm like, wow, okay, let me change some things up. You know what I'm saying? I just can say that seriously, growing up, but I was always a taker. I wasn't a giver. You know what I'm saying? Take. I would go to people's houses, take food.
Hold up. Bro, that's not true. That's not true. You listen, hey Rodney.
I'm gonna go back to the same thing I said last time. You both can experience the same thing and see it differently.
There you go.
I understand. Don't worry.
Get him, Rodney. Get him.
Every time you say that's not true, that's my answer to you, Desmond. You both can experience the same thing and see it differently.
Don't worry. This ain't gonna be no argument. We're not gonna get derailed or nothing like that. But I'm gonna say this. Hey. He said that now, but his whole life he has been a giver, not a taker, right?
What?
And hold on, let me finish. In a moment, like when he had his moments of lapsed judgment, right? Well, he might have been a taker, but who he is as a person, he's always been a giver. He actually, growing up, he used to be emotional when he give, and he wasn't receiving. So I say that to say this, man. Chef Dennis is a giver. He's a giver of love. He's a giver of everything.
Now
and this thing. No, you always been that way, bro. You don't
hold on. What the hell happened? This ain't the same people from 2 weeks ago. Hold on, time out.
No, I know, but we can't.
You giving credit, you being quiet. I don't like this shit. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it now. I don't like this shit. I don't know what the hell happened over the last 2 weeks, but this ain't. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet. But something ain't right. I'm gonna sniff it out in a minute. I'm gonna figure it out. But go ahead, Desmond. Say the good things you were saying about Chef Dennis. This is new to me. I'm blown.
I'm just giving you the real. Like he had his moments in life where it was, like negative. But when he said he was a taker, not a giver, that's not true. I know him, family know him. He's always been a giver, and it caused him to be very emotional at times because growing up, when he gives so much and he don't feel like it was reciprocated, that's what made him very, very emotional. But he's not a taker. He never was a taker. You know what I'm saying? The only time he can even say that he was a taker is out of desperation. Times when he's at his all-time low, and he, you know what I'm saying, you got to get it from the mud. Because if nobody else is gonna help you out or give it to you or help you, you know what I'm trying to say, then he did all things necessary to get what he needed. That's the only times he was a taker. But Chef Dennis is a giver. He is. What they say in the Bible? The learning tree. No, the tree of knowledge.
Uh-huh.
He's that apple that fell from that thing. He's a giver.
Right. Okay. All right. So
now
he's the person that started and created all sin. I got you. But anyway, I'm messing with you. Hey, let's go back to the question though, for me personally, because to me, the thing that we were missing as children, and I still feel that the young kids are missing now, is understanding your emotion. And I think that's something that we don't encourage. And I mean, here's one thing that I'm about to say something that most Black people are not going to like, but I'm going to say it. White people had something right with time out with children. The only thing that we didn't observe is that once they made the child take a time out, they then still make the child explain how they were feeling and explain how to get through whatever that emotion was that made that child upset.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all of them did that, but it's actually something that there's more to just putting your child in timeout or doing this or whatever if they're not acting correctly or they're being emotional. There's a big thing between not acting correctly and being emotional that we as a culture put in the same category. You know what I'm saying? Because a child doing something they're not supposed to be doing is one thing, but a child acting off of emotion is something different. And we always tell them, don't cry. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see you crying. Real men don't cry. This is what I was told as a child. You know what I'm saying? That real men don't cry. Suck it up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, children were meant to be seen, not heard. You know what I'm saying? All these things to me are all things building to make it so that your child keeps it in, that your child doesn't express to you their emotions. And it also stops them from being able, the greatest thing that we can do as a culture and a people is allow our children and allow our people to have emotions, but teach them how to work through them. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that as a culture. We don't teach our children, our family, even our friends. I'm not going to lie. I remember the first time one of my best friends, I haven't talked to him in at least 20 years. His name was John. His grandmother died. He cried like a little child to me. This is me. We were 16. Right. He cried so bad that I stopped being friends with him because I didn't know how to deal with his emotion. I didn't know how to grips it. You know what I'm saying? And now I look at it and I'm upset with myself that I didn't take that time to allow him. I actually treated him like he was a bitch. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, I can't hang out with him. That nigga soft as shit. You know what I'm saying? He was crying and snot because his grandmother died. He was snotting and everything, and I treated him like he was like he was just the softest dude I ever met in my life because I didn't know how to deal with that because I wasn't in a place in my life where I thought crying was weakness. I thought that this was a sign that he was not going to be there for me. You know what I'm saying? As my boy. So I stopped being boys with him. And that shows you how messed up I was to think that was okay instead of realizing that, damn, he lost his grandmother. Now I know that these things. And even now I still have struggles with people emotional. You know what I'm saying? And I understand it, but now I'm gonna cry with you. You know what I'm saying? Like now you start crying, I might be there with you too. You know what I'm saying? But back then that was what I thought. I thought that crying was weakness. I thought that having these emotions were weakness, and we don't teach our children. We don't teach our children. We don't teach our kids to work out their emotions. You know what I'm saying? We tell them to go in their room, be quiet, come out when you good, and then that's it. And we never discuss the emotions to help them work through them. So, that was what I had to say. Desmond, you good? The cops at your door?
It might as well be. Y'all keep talking. I'll be back in 30 seconds. My kid's knocking on my door. I don't know why. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Hey, Rodney.
Yeah.
I think what you were saying, look, I think the reason why it's like that is because you gotta let's look at the root of things though. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for me and you to say that, but let's look at the circumstances where there's two parents get together and now they don't want to be together. You feel me? So that's where some of the problems lie too. You got two people, one night stand, now they're not together, they can't stand one another. So what type of environment is that building up? You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Yeah. I think that's where some of the problem comes to. So some people.
Yeah, but even with that problem, the same problem still happens. That kid has emotions and he doesn't know how to deal with them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I feel that, like I was saying, that is the issue, that we don't take the time, and a lot of us don't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, even as parents and adults now, like I'm just learning how to deal with my emotions. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to deal with it then. I wish I did. I still have a friend today. You know what I'm saying? I wish I did know how to deal with my emotions when I was younger. And I feel that that's something that we're missing. That's why kids act out, because they have these emotions. They don't know how to deal with them. So they go and do what they can do best, which is, I feel better when I go destroy something. I feel better when I go drink. I feel better when I go steal a car or whatever, because I'm distracted from the real emotion. I don't know how to deal with my emotions. And I really feel
suppression.
Something, yeah. I mean, suppression or hiding it or distracting yourself, all those things are still not ways to deal with that emotion. And in my opinion, it is really not. We should be emotionally educating our family, friends, ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the things that we do stupid are always based on some type of emotion. It's all based on it. When you're doing something stupid, I guarantee you didn't do something stupid without an emotion. There had to be an emotion there for you to do something stupid, whether it's anger, whether it's being pissed off or emotion of somebody death. Death is huge for me, where I become unstable. You know what I'm saying? Where my wife knows that I tell her all the time, I don't do well with death.
Amy in the building, y'all.
What's up, Amy?
Shout out to Amy, came up on the stage, y'all. Let's say
yeah, sick and all, right?
Sick and all, I'm here.
I know that.
That's why I had to go fix my face, y'all. I'm a pasty chick. Like I don't look like a potato up here.
Hey man, listen, be yourself. It's all good.
Yeah. So who's talking as Rodney? That was you?
Me. I was just talking about. I really feel that us as people now need to get emotionally understand our emotions and understand how to get through those emotions, and it's something that we should be teaching our kids, our culture, everything. Because I feel like our culture coming up was taught that for me, and I'm only going to talk for me personally. I was told that crying is for crying is a sign of weakness. I was told that whenever I had a problem and I was upset, I was told to go to my room. I was told to fix my face. You know what I'm saying? Fix your face. This, that, and the other. I was never asked what's up, like what's going on, what's really happening here. You know what I'm saying? I was never taught how to deal with my emotions. I feel in a lot of these kids, whenever you do something stupid, I know when I was stealing cars and drinking and doing all that kind of stuff, even as young as 14, it was all off of emotions. I was lost. I was scared. I was, the only way I could control the fact that I was scared was by stealing a car, because I controlled the situation. You know what I'm saying? Right. When I was,
You didn't get no beatings.
I was just about to say, because that's what he said.
You ain't get no beatings.
Beatings? No,
yeah,
I was too good. I never got caught. Nigga, I was.
Oh yeah. Oh nah.
I didn't get caught. Nah.
I come from an era where I got my ass. But this is the thing.
I did get beatings. Yeah, I did get beatings, but I'm talking about when I was doing all the real stupid stuff. I was, 14 through 16. First of all, my dad died when I was 11. Okay. My mom went into a mental hospital because they thought that because my mom had lupus and they didn't know that she had lupus. They thought she was just crazy. So she was gone for a while. I was raised by my brothers for some years, where my brothers were doing drugs and alcohol all the time. They weren't paying attention to me. I mean, they was, but they wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could go steal a car and come in whenever the hell I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I only went to school because I chose to go to school. You know what I'm saying? My brothers did not force me to go to school. You know what I'm saying? Because they were dealing with their own thing. They had no idea where I was at and all the stuff that I was doing. So, yeah, but I mean, it was all out of confusion and love, and I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. It took me until I became an adult to deal with my emotions. So that's the biggest thing that I feel like a lot of these kids, when I talk to these kids out here, is they don't know how to deal with those emotions. They've never been taught. I mean, I think, and I'm not just saying for Black kids, I think that all kids need that education. All people, because everything that we do, I'm telling you, anytime you were in a bad situation, there was an emotion involved in it. Always.
Right.
I
agree with that. And then Chef, like you were talking about ass whoopings, like ass whoopings isn't the solution, right?
Yeah, I catch an ass whooping, go steal right back out there, steal a car right after.
Yeah, I think getting ass whoopings repeatedly just makes your heart colder. Makes it darker. Makes you just more tougher, right? It makes you want to rebel even more. Because I know, just speaking about myself, that's how it was for me. I got my ass whooped plenty of times, and the more I got my ass whooped, I feel like it was me against the world. I feel like, oh yeah, you want to put your hands on me? I'm gonna put my hands on somebody else, right? It went from me fighting anybody to me just wanting to fight bullies. But like getting those ass whoopings added to the rage that I already had growing up. So that's definitely not the solution. So when I had kids, I said that's one thing I said I'm gonna try everything in my power not to do, right? To whoop their ass. Now every once in a while they gotta feel it, but like 9 times out of 10 they'll
Yeah,
tell you,
Rod, spoil the child.
you know,
Spare the
9 times
rod, spoil
look,
the child.
they'll
Man,
tell you.
ass
I don't
whoopings
think you
ain't the
stairs.
answer, dog.
No,
It,
my kids tell me, oh, all you gonna do is yell, and bro, I be wanting to whoop their ass. They be calling me out like, you just gonna yell, you ain't gonna do nothing. I'm like, what? It makes me want
then
to
you
do
whoop
it.
their ass. Then you whoop their ass.
But it depends on
All
the
of you out, you gotta whoop
circumstances.
that ass. You gotta whoop
It's
that ass.
hard
Don't
though.
challenge me now. Oh nah.
I want to piggyback on something that you had said too. So like,
Go
you
ahead.
know, with the whoopings and stuff, that's how we were raised because our parents were not raised with like mental health and how to process their emotions. So they passed that down to
Right.
us. But like you acting out, okay, get out of here, go to your room, get out of my hair, you know. They weren't raised like that. They were raised old school too, where kids acting up, that ADHD and mental health were not a thing in our parents' age, right? You were just labeled a bad kid. Now that
Right.
we have the statistics and the science, we know like those kids probably had issues. There are adults running around out here now with those same issues, and they're just passing it down to generation. And that's where we're lucky now that we live in the age that I can recognize now you're not acting like this because you just want to be a dick. You're acting like this because there's emotions. Even as teenagers, they're still learning how to process stuff. They have so much more pressure than what we did growing up. So
Right.
it
I
is.
don't
It's
know about
something
that
that's
one,
been
but
passed down to us.
What you mean, Rodney? You better stop that.
They
they
got
don't got more.
social
They don't got
media
more pressures
bullying.
than us.
They've got all
Man,
they
you
do. They got
bugging.
way more pressure.
Way more. You
Way
bugging
more
out.
pressure.
Yeah, I wouldn't get.
No,
Hey,
no,
Rodney.
no. Hold on, right, real quick. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say they have more pressure in the sense that like they lack the knowledge, right? Like like it depends on how you look at that pressure. Because nowadays, like you can ask a simple question and people they just clueless, and it's like they sweat and they get overwhelmed. And like at my job, like I hired people, and then I don't not to call them outside their name, but I'm like these motherfuckers dumb as fuck. Right. And so when it's time for me to be their boss, and I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna tolerate no bullshit. I need you to get your shit together. And now they like a deer in the headlights. So in that aspect, I feel like, yeah, nowadays kids have more pressure because they don't know how to cope with things, the simplicity of life. They don't know how to navigate through life.
Just think about this, Rodney. See, look, they got TV, they got phones, they got computers. We ain't have all that stuff going up. Guess what? Their minds can be distracted with all that stuff. Like you can sit at a dinner table. You go to restaurants, all the kids is sitting there. They not even engaged in conversation with the people that's sitting there. So please don't tell me what they don't have more pressure. They got more pressure.
Yeah, that socialization
Did I not
skills
talk
is in the
about this
gutter.
on the episode with you and I? Everybody is so obsessed with like digital like aspects now. They don't even know how to have a fucking conversation with each other anymore.
More pressure.
No. Not even like family functions.
How many subscribers can I get? Like these are babies. They shouldn't be worrying about that shit.
Not at all. Not at all. So I want to add this real quick. The one thing I learned is this, right?
My kids are spoiled. I ain't gonna talk for your kids. My kids spoiled to death. These niggas ain't got no pressure. They don't even know. They ain't have no struggle. I look at them. They
That's what I said. It depends on how you look at it.
I'm talking about them. They just
we talk pressure. We're not struggle.
You talking about your kid? Man, listen, man, stop. We gonna get on you today. Let's get on Rodney today.
Struggles.
Man, you bugging. Look, I bet you what.
I hear so many struggles from them, man. Nah, I'm messing around. I understand. I understand what you're saying. I'm messing around. I'm just trying to say.
You better be glad Lucky T ain't, because she definitely would have got you.
Oh yeah, you know she be on 10 or 11
no, don't
sometimes.
worry. My daughter probably watching this now. She can't wait for me to come upstairs so she can comment on how ridiculous I sound. Don't worry. My daughter is my judge and jury. Don't worry. She watch every damn thing I do.
I know that's real.
Yeah, like my kids, they young as hell. They in the room watching this shit right now. I'm like, y'all, what y'all watching me for? But because I love you, Dad. And I appreciate that. So I just let them live. But my 4-year-old, my 10-year-old in the room watching this shit right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
I'm finding it hard to believe Amy had a whooping. I don't believe that. She got time out. Don't believe that. She was in the junk chilling. She was in there.
I was always getting into some
room,
stupid
Mom.
shit and always got my ass beat over it.
Really?
Always.
Get out of my room,
Yes.
Mom. That's what you said. Don't give me that bullshit.
So I grew up in the age, I just told Sean this story. I grew up in the age of Power Rangers, right? Do you guys know what Power Rangers are?
Yeah, we do. We ain't that old.
Okay.
My kids
So
played with
my
them.
little dumbass 10-year-old self was upstairs in my bedroom. I'm like, yeah, what? Kicked the window out of my bedroom.
Wow.
I got my ass tore up over that.
Which you should have. But.
I should have, but I was a very curious child. So if I would see something, I'm like, I want to know how this works. So then I'd take it apart and try to hurry up and figure out how to put it back together and make it not look like I had destroyed it. Then my parents would be like, Amy, what'd you do? And I'm like, why? It was a little
right. Now, was it more of a spanking or was it a whooping? That's because from my experience, white people got like tap, tap, tap. We got our asses whooped.
So Southern white people believe in ass whoopings.
Talk that shit.
Okay.
It ain't no regular white people like, no, it was like, bam. My daddy whooped me so hard with the ping pong paddle one time, it broke.
Right. All right.
Yeah. We got whooping.
The struggle is real.
Yeah.
It is.
There you go. Oh, that's my man KJ, man. You want to talk to somebody who is emotionally sound from a lot of stuff? This dude right here, my man. He was on my show, and he was one of the people that really got me on that. You know, talking to your kids about your emotions, having them on my show, and he came from foster care, and you know, he's an activist out in the streets right now. Like he's out there front line. So I respect him wholeheartedly about what he's become from where he came from. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I'm gonna get, y'all. All right. So I want to tell y'all something. Since y'all told, because I'm real transparent. I want to share something to all four of you, all three of us.
Yeah, we know what you mean. Go ahead.
Your brother ain't going. Whatever you about to say, your brother ain't going.
I told you I'm so white. I don't even look. I'm here.
So
that's crazy. That's not true. Stop it.
I was just thinking. I was dealing with this. Not personal, but I know this young lady. Her parents was married, and she took it tough. And the point of therapy is that she took it tough, and she wanted to hurt herself. She never told anybody how she was feeling or anything. She had both her parents in her life, but she wanted to hurt herself because mom and dad wasn't together. And I just want to point that out, is that sometimes these kids nowadays, we always talk about is their emotions, and they might have two good parents that can't live together, and that's something that's deep. And I think that is an issue as well, and that's where it is important to find out, like Roddy said, about getting to know yourself and your emotions, because that young lady could have very well hurt herself because she did not know how to deal with mom and dad not together, because she have two loving parents that's always supportive, always there. You know what I'm saying? Got her back, always there, like always at teaching, parent meetings, all the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? They both there, but they're not living together. So it took a toll on the young lady, and I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and listen, it's important. And as I say this, it's very important that, like Ronnie said, is to really talk to your kids and get to know them. on a level, and still be able to discipline them on the level and
Right.
say, look, I'm doing this because I love you. You know what I'm saying? And not just be so
Right.
soft on them and say, oh, go to your room. Nah, you got to really be hard because you want them to understand, like, look, I don't want you to go through this. I don't want you to feel that pain. Like, what are you going through? And sometimes our aggression can make them, you know, like fall back and be like, I don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because as parents, we so aggressive. And that's where we have to be taught and taught, and somebody have to teach us how to do that. You know what I'm saying? In this time and age, and I think that's why we should be taking therapy, us men. You know, so I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Like I was trying to say before, like the one thing I learned is this, right? Therapy keeps us from being alone in our own head, right? And it allows us to have an objective third party. Y'all understand what I mean by that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
But you
so,
gotta have the
so
right third party because
Yeah.
just like that, you gotta just like
yeah,
we help
but
you
I,
to go the
no, I said,
right way. Somebody can definitely help you go the wrong way too.
Yeah, go on, Skippy.
right. But I was saying it helps us have an objective third party, in the sense of like it allows us to think, like not just focus on our own thoughts, but think about the feedback that we're getting from other people. You know what I'm trying to say? When you have that, that's what I'm saying about therapy, right? Because your therapist or whoever you're talking to or whoever you're consulting with, that is your third party. So you get their insight on things, and it'll help you in your own head, right? Because without therapy, now we're trapped in our own head, and all we got to go on is our own thought process, and it might be a poor judgment. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I say therapy is good for. It gives us that objective third party, and it keeps us from being locked in our own head.
You got to, you got to be able to trust that therapist too. You got to build a trust with that person. You got to
Hmm.
build a bond with that person. Because how can you have therapy with somebody you really can't trust their thought process? You can't.
Well,
How? You got
that's what me and Rodney was trying to tell you earlier, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's funny how things come full circle sometimes. Like, you know what I'm
I don't.
saying? Like that's
I still will
when I,
stand on. You don't have to be. You don't have to go to therapy to be a therapist. No, you don't.
No, I'm not saying you don't have to, but
you
That's
don't
his
for
have
me
to.
yeah.
personally,
Yeah,
I don't want a therapist who ain't going to therapy. That's all I gotta say. I don't want because then I'm gonna feel like he may be trying to project his feelings onto me. You know what I'm
right,
saying? I mean, we've all had that conversation with a person, and next thing you know, you realize that you trying to talk about yours and they done turned it into theirs. You know what I'm saying?
right,
They
right,
projecting their own thing. So that's
right.
just my opinion, but you can do
What,
whatever you
what are your
want.
what are your thoughts on that, Amy? Earlier, I said that in order to be an effective or a good therapist, you have to had or currently be going through therapy. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, honestly, I think that they probably do need to go through their own therapy as well. Like I was trying to say, and it's so hard to do it when you're sending it through like a text. There's no way, as a human being, someone that has emotions, that listening to everyone else's, not just problems, but
Yeah.
successes that may make them look within themselves and see some kind of shortcoming that they have, or listening to someone talk about loss or talk about suicide, or struggles with addictions or different things, maybe something that they struggled with in their past before they were sitting across from you with a pen and paper listening to
Mm,
your problems. It may trigger things within them and themselves that they're like, damn, I need to talk to somebody too. That weight
right.
has got to be heavy on their mind. They've got to take that home with them. So instead
Mm,
of projecting and and I'm going to speak from a personal insight here, having a partner is a good person that you can talk to, but not become like a bashing board to them. They need someone that they can go and talk to that is unobjective to them as a person and can just
mm,
look at their problems and be like, let's find a resolution for this. It gets too
right.
emotional sometimes when you're talking to your partner. You don't become a sounding board. You just become someone that they just bash and bash into. So having someone else that they can go and talk to, there's no way that they don't.
Right. It was to say I started learning about emotional intelligence through the man camp from the Nation Brothers 5 years ago. It's a tedious process, one step at a time. I mean, it is tedious and it's hard work, and that's why, like when we talk about the black community, like a lot of people in the black community, they don't take the time out to put in the work. In the black community, a lot of us want things to come easy and
Hold on, hold
fast.
on, hold on, chef. You caught that right? Did you catch that? Did you catch that, Chef? What he just said?
Oh,
remember how he like, remember how he said he liked when things going full circle, right?
Well, I missed.
But wasn't he just said that a lot of black people don't take the time to do what they need to do to help themselves?
Oh yeah,
right?
brother, I got you. Yeah,
man. Ain't that what he just said?
I think you just got yourself in trouble.
How did we start that? Hold on, what? So go ahead, tell me about that more, Desmond. Maybe I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. I need that for myself. A lot of our culture don't take the time to do what now?
Let's go to the
necessary.
Yeah. Can somebody go to the rewind, please? Rewind, please. Can we get back
flag on the play?
Yeah, can we get back to the first 5 minutes of this conversation where somebody said they gotta work, they got this. It's crazy when I get home. My dogs, my kids. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mute your mic. If you're on the phone, mute. Yeah, I got you. Mute your mic.
It's out of love. I'm just bringing it
this
back.
Guy, he gonna talk on his phone without muting it. That's crazy.
Go back to back to what you were saying.
No.
Don't do what?
Y'all don't triple team me. I feel like I'm like this. Like,
can I circle back?
Huh?
Can I circle back? Yeah.
Go ahead.
So when you guys were talking earlier about about black men, so I was in a biracial marriage for 15 years. We were together a total of 16. My ex-husband, he was raised by an old school hard dude. So he was like that, tried to be like that with our son. I had to step and be like, no, you can't do that. You are causing so much damage to him. Like, if he would be sick or if he would get hurt, like, I wasn't going to put up with just unnecessary whining. But like, I remember one time my son had actually got like hurt. And we were outside and he fell and went face first into the gravel. And he was like bleeding and he was crying. He snatched him up and he was like, you stop crying. Boys don't cry. You just wipe it off and go. And I was like, no, that's a real emotion. That's real pain that's happening to him. And my son, he struggles with depression and anxiety and he's on the spectrum.
Okay.
Same thing. Like, he was like, he just needs to knock it off. He needs to be a man. Men don't act like that. That's how your dad was raised and he raised you, but that's not how it is anymore. Like, you have to acknowledge those feelings. You can't just tell him be a man, because then he bottles that up. And what does that do to him as an adult?
Yeah. It bubbles up and then eventually he explodes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it does. And I mean, I'm 100% with you on that. My first son, I had to apologize to him because I did a lot of those things. I learned with my daughter, my daughter does not react to spankings. Like and I love my daughter, but she has my soul completely. Like she was the person that wouldn't cry because she didn't want to show you that you were doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you got a child like that spanking ain't doing nothing. It ain't doing nothing but fueling the fire and anger. Oh, that's all that's doing.
Oh, you get
one second, Chef. I want to ask all three of y'all something, because all three of y'all got daughters, right? This is the thing. You know, it was life changing for me when I had my first daughter, right? Like, and everybody keep asking me, like, how you going to discipline her? I'm like, you know what? I ain't got it in me to discipline her, right? But I know at some point it needs to be some kind of discipline. But, Ava, you're a woman. Well, you two, your fathers, right? But this is the thing. If she asks out, how am I supposed to discipline? I just don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable to spank her, right? I feel like from a father to spank their kids, it should be like a son, right? Like, so I don't even know the first thing to do about correcting my daughter. I don't. When she gets to that age, right now she's young.
But you're doing her a disfavor by doing that, though, because then she knows I can do whatever I want. That ain't gonna do shit about it.
And that's my problem. I get it. And that's why I said, that's why I'm looking to y'all. Y'all got daughters. I'm like, as a man, how do I go about disciplining? Because if I don't have it in my heart to sit there and say, I'm a spanker when she act out, I don't know. I just think it's weird. And that's one thing when I found out I had a daughter, I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do?
Yeah. Ronnie, what you gonna do? What you do, Ronnie?
I understand. I had a discomfort with it too, but I knew it was more important than it was. It was more important to teach that lesson than it is to. The biggest thing that I also talk about is that I feel that kids should not leave your house in kids should not leave your house and experience things that they're going to experience out in the world. That your house should be the first place. It should be the training ground. So I do things on purpose to be unfair. To be what you call it, because life is unfair. Things happen. You know what I'm saying? Like my daughter, first thing she wanted was to dye her hair a color when she got old enough. And I told her absolutely not. If a person can't grow it, you can't dye it. That was my rule. And it's been my rule. My daughter's turning 18. And she's like, well, I'm 18 now. I don't give a shit. You still live in my house. If a person can't grow it, you can't dye it. You know what I'm saying? And that's been a rule. I had to, sometimes my wife didn't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? She didn't understand. She was like, yeah, why not? She looks good. And I don't care. If a person can't grow it, but that's a part of being unfair. I mean, it's just like life is unfair. It's going to be things you're not going to understand. That's not going to make sense to you. And I don't have to make it make sense. That's a rule.
That's crazy because I actually do want to go around the room, but when you say if you can't grow it, so what about piercings and tattoos? That's a no-go too?
No, when she turns 18, we're getting a tattoo because I'm a tattoo dad. But
that's what I'm saying. You can't grow it.
No, until she turns 18. I'm talking about a hair dyeing situation. I'm not talking about.
When you say when she's 18, you say, so what? You still in my house. So what's the difference between tattoos and piercings?
Because then that's it's different because I have tattoos. So therefore, I can't tell my child. I'm not going to tell my child that. I mean, I want to get a tattoo with her. I have a tattoo of her. So my daughter's nickname is Pikachu. When she was little, she used to yell on my shoulder. So I have a Pikachu tattoo with her name Trinity underneath of it. So
nice.
I believe in tattoos. So tattoos are my another outlet for me. It's another healing. Like so I have one arm that celebrates life, and this is my arm that celebrates death. And of course, it's a lot more on my death. So I got my whole arm, sleeve, back, all that done with death. Yeah. But
me and Chef's younger brother, he got the same thing. One side is death, one side is life. And when he first decided to make that decision, people was like, "Why would you do that?" Like he almost had this one tattoo that he, at the last minute, he backed out. He got something different. He initially started to get the tattoo where like the devil was stitching up God's mouth and said, "Shut up, Jesus." But he got so much flack from that. So he got other things on him now. But that was the craziest thing. And now, but this is before he was religious. Now he's highly religious. He's well versed. So, so Chef or Amy, whichever want to go first. What do you think about what he was just saying?
I didn't have to beat my daughter, but I had this type of look that she know I would mean business. So I'm dead serious. Like that's why I wanted to know what Rodney did. Rodney beat. I didn't have to beat my daughter, and I wasn't going to beat her, but I had this voice.
Say what? Because beat sound real. It sounds.
I wasn't gonna take no belt. I was a man. I don't feel like that now. To me, I don't feel now. This my thing, and I got brothers. If my brothers was going to beat their daughters, that ain't happening. Not around me. I don't think.
But that's why I said I will feel weird. That's why I said, what do I do?
Daughters, because that. But guess what? That's where the unity comes in. Now, when the daughter is doing something that calls for her to get that butt beat, now you got to go mad. You're gonna have to handle that, and I mean handle it. Not punch in the face, not slapping. You're gonna have to spank that butt. When we hold her down, you're gonna have to get that butt. But
that's more traumatic. Your parent, one parent holding you down, whatever. Jesus.
That's a mugging, bro. You
gotta jump. Word. Call it what you want to if Maria,
that's WWE right there.
If Maria had to beat Monty, I told her, Monty, don't get disrespectful, because if you disrespect her, guess what? I'm gonna hold you down, and she's gonna tear that butt up. She's not gonna slap. I didn't believe in. Like Monty really didn't get no beatings. That's my baby daughter, But I promise you this.
Jump my niece. That's crazy.
Hey, she know I meant business. I said, "Oh, you gonna disrespect her? Guess what? Oh, she gonna beat that butt because I'm gonna hold you down. You ain't stronger than me. So." What you want to do? You want to be obedient or you want to be disobedient? What one or the other?
And I do want to get this. I do want to get this straight too. I didn't ever gave my daughter got spankings when she was younger. Once she started developing, I definitely did not. There was no, but I had stopped before that because she wasn't responding to the spanking anyway.
That's what I was saying. It's not a
My
solution.
daughter's
Yeah.
standing right here. She'll say it, but I know she can't wait to say it. But she didn't respond to spanking. It was not. Once she got old enough, she was not. It was way easier to talk to her. Like I did stuff like I took her door off her room.
What the
Or
fuck?
I did. Oh yeah. Because privacy is way more important. I took that door off. Yeah, 9th grade, she was acting up. I took that door off. Yeah, she did everything in her soul to get that door back. You know what I'm saying? That probably. I was like, yeah. She was like, well, what if I got to change? Go in the bathroom. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go in the bathroom and change. You're gonna get dressed in the bathroom, all that kind of stuff. Nah, but she did everything. And after that 9th grade year, I've never had to take that door off again. You know what I'm saying?
Being creative. That's what's up.
Yeah. But I mean, that was more important to her than the spanking. You know what I'm saying? She wanted that door back.
Yeah. So, Amy, I know you're a mother, so I'm not gonna ask you the same question because it's different. It's coming from a mother. I feel like a mother should whoop their daughter ass if need be. So let me ask you a different question. Like how would you have preferred your significant other or your kid's father to discipline your daughter when she was out of hand?
So like my situation's a little bit different. It's better now. He's more involved in things now, but I used to tell everybody I was a married single parent because I was married.
That's wild.
But I did 95% of the child care by myself. Where I had my mom and dad would help me out too. So like I was responsible for the kids. Like they got in trouble. If it was I'm not trying to bash anybody. Please don't think I'm trying to bash anybody. I'm just speaking from my personal experience. So if they were bothering him, like when he was trying to sleep or like watch something, that's when he'd get up and try to do something about it. And it's like, I need your help when they're actually doing stuff that they need discipline over. So I treat them both equally, the same amount. Like I'll make my daughter do the same exact stuff that I make my son do. You're going to take out the trash. You're going to, scrub a toilet, whatever. Same thing with discipline. He needed a whooping. He got a whooping. I'm the one that did it. She needed a whooping. I'm the one that did it. And I, honest to God, can only count like on my hand how many times I've had to actually spank my kids. Once they got old enough, I was like, okay, you're obviously doing this for a reason. Let's figure out what that reason is. And a lot of that self-discovery helped out with my son because that's when I was like, you know what, this is not how kids his age normally act. There's got to be something else going on. So that's when we found out he had, he's on the spectrum. He's got a form of autism. He's got anxiety. He's got depression. Like those are things. So I think once they get to a certain age, you don't need like the spanking anymore. There may be some certain situations where you still do, but once they get to a certain point where like they can kind of communicate with you and you can understand, why are you acting like this? Like what's making you sad? What's making you act out? I think that changes the dynamic of how your discipline as a parent to child works.
Right. I got you. And like I said, I encourage, support, and applaud anybody that takes on therapy because if nothing else, having another person to talk to keeps us all accountable of ourselves, right? And all the others as well, right? Because a man who is not accountable to himself is not accountable to anybody else, right? And then saying that, like a man that's not accountable to himself is a danger to himself, right? We all agree with that.
Mm-hmm. It causes damage in your relationships. Like if you're not owning your own problems,
You music. There you go.
Yeah, I'm on. No, I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, accountability is all, but being accountable to yourself is hugely important. To really acknowledge. The biggest thing is to acknowledge your faults. You know what I'm saying? Like I acknowledge my faults. I've acknowledged them to y'all. Alcohol has been a fault for me. It has been something that I've used. I've acknowledged that I have abandonment issues, this, that, and other. But the great thing about acknowledging those things to yourself, people can't use them against you. That was the biggest strength that I got from that people could not use that against me anymore. And like if somebody would be like, oh, you just being this. I'm like, yeah, well, actually I am. You're right. I am just being that. You're 100% correct. I am just being yeah, this is how I'm being, and sometimes you can find strength in that. You know what I'm saying? Strength in that, knowing what you are capable of. Me and I use this one. I told y'all I'm not drinking. My next door neighbor's mother passed away. And I told my wife, I was like, I don't want to go over there. If I go over there, I'm going to drink. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't handle that. That is not good for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to drink, but but even saying that and acknowledge that, when I went over there, I was able to limit and taper myself. You know what I'm saying? I did have a drink with him. He's my neighbor. He's a brother to me. He's not just my neighbor. He's actually like a brother to me. So, I was just like, yeah, but I told him, I was like, look, just do me a favor. I know it's your mom, but let's not talk about her, because I don't want to be sitting here crying with you. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to be drinking more, because I know my emotions. I lost my mother, and I love her to death. My mother was the greatest woman on earth to me. And so I know that when it comes to people losing their mothers, I get upset. So anyway, go ahead. I'm listening, Chef.
No, I want to big you up. I'm proud of you. But we talking about therapy. What you just said, that is part of therapy. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the moment you acknowledge something like that, you become stronger and better. And that is part of therapy right there. For the world that's watching and that's listening, that is right there. Acknowledging something and saying, I know I'm gonna do this, but I don't want to do this. You acknowledge it, and that's part of the healing. That's part of the fixing of the issue that you have. And I'm proud of you. I'm bigging you up, man. Boo boo, my boy. That's what I'm talking about. Rodney, doing it up, man.
I got 2 minutes. I gotta go. My wife, I ain't gonna. My biggest podcast I got to do after this, which is my wife's podcast, Yoga. If you want to join us, Amy, we're going to be doing yoga at 7:00. You can check her out. It's on the Zenden 80. Is her platform on YouTube. It'll be on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. So if y'all want to check it out and get some yoga in, get some meditation, let me tell you something. If you've never meditated, it is phenomenal for your mental health, for your religious health. When I meditate, I talk to God, dog. Like, we have a for real conversation. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of the best things to do, in my opinion. Some Christians don't agree. I ain't gonna point at nobody but the guy up here. But anyway, the guy up here in my screen, I don't know if he's right above me everywhere, but he may not agree with it. But hold on. Meditation and yoga is don't attack me. I feel God attacked. Can use anything.
I feel attacked.
Can use anything.
I feel attacked. But I want since you said it like that. But see,
nothing belongs to the devil. All right, I'm done.
The thing about it is that my worship is totally different. You see what I'm saying? That when some people meditate, it's my worship. So I worship privately. You know what I'm saying? So when I worship, I speak to God on a different level. You know what I'm saying? On a high frequency. And so I don't knock that, but see, because everybody don't worship the same thing how I do it. You know what I'm saying? When I get into listen to my music, it's over. God began to speak to me. So that's on whoever like that. I mean, I do things differently. I get you. Look, you get in my car when you come to Jersey. I take you for a ride and I show you how I get down. You gonna be looking at me like, yo, D, what's wrong? You all right? I start crying. I start getting emotional because guess what? It's in there.
So real fella be in the car with another man, they start crying. He's like,
yeah.
I told you I'm not good with this.
Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get out the car. I'm gonna get out the car. He start crying and shit. I'm getting out. First of all, I don't want you driving all emotional. That's first of all.
Rodney, you gonna be like this. You gonna be look, Rodney gonna be looking like this, y'all. What's wrong with you? I was like, yo,
he gonna ask you. He gonna get out.
I was on the highway.
No, I ain't gonna let him get in now. He done told
listen. You feel like you're gonna be slain in the spirit. Pull over. Let me drive, and you do your thing.
Yes.
I ain't be like that. Look, I ain't gonna be like this.
Hugger, and he's emotional. He gonna
take the wheel.
He gonna say, Rodney, give me a hug. What's the road?
For the wheel, next thing you know, he gonna be like this, praying, no hands on the wheels, like, oh Lord. Let me absorb everything you got from me, God, and this, that, and the other. Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and get out this car. I'll take the bus. I ain't getting it. But anyway, hey, I love you fellas. It was a good conversation. I know y'all probably keep going on or whatever, but I gotta take care of the missus. And like I said, anybody watching, please follow my wife on the Zindan 80. I expect to see all y'all to follow. You want to watch on and send a comment, whatever, check it out. But she's starting her own yoga practice, doing every Friday. She's doing her Friday night flex. It's yoga.
You said the Zindan what?
The Zindan 80. TH, I'm putting it here too, but it's the Zindan 80 on all platforms, all one word.
Got you.
Then
hurry up before she get that belt.
Yeah.
Hurry up before she get that belt.
Let's get something straight, dog. She give me something else to be her producer. You know what I'm saying? I get paid. You know what I'm saying? I don't do this for free.
It's hot yoga.
I don't do this for free.
It's hot yoga.
Hey, once she get, let me tell you something.
Hey, man.
My wife got that spider pose. I behave myself. Spider pose down. That's the one with the chest and the face on the ground, but the ass in the air.
Oh, I'm out.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, yes, Lord. That's my meditation get real good. I'll be like, thank you, Father. Amen. So,
Lotus, downward facing dog.
Yeah, there's all that. That's what I'm talking about.
So, if I'm not mistaken, Chef, his thing is he resumed his podcast on Tuesday, right? The 7th, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna start mine Monday. This Monday too. Mine is coming back.
Right,
so
now what?
I'll be at work, but I'll jump on yours, and then Chef, I'll jump on yours on Tuesday.
So since you said that, y'all see the Niner gang up there that's about to go down. But yes,
it better go down. It should have been down.
Hold on, but check this out though. I told all my followers and everything. I said 2025 is gonna be big because we got a studio now. It's gonna be live, 3 cameras up in there, 4 mics. So we're gonna have some in-person guests that's gonna be there. I can't wait. I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a whole year of 2005 what's cooking with live guests, person to person. And I call her, she's not gonna be there every time. She's gonna be there virtual, but it's gonna be the guest sitting right there at the table with me. It's gonna be awesome.
And I'm gonna be there, man. I gotta get the fit ready. You know what I mean? Shit, they're gonna be like, who that awesome celebrity? They're gonna say, who that celebrity sitting next to you? You know what I mean?
Amy,
all right, fellas, I'm out.
All right, bro. It's gonna be
brother.
It's gonna be different. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Man, look.
Well, Amy from Indiana, so
I know.
She's 11 hours away.
Hey, listen. You ever been to New York City?
I have not.
Oh, see, you gotta take a trip. Shit. Look, you gotta take a trip to New York City, and definitely right there, we right across the bridge. I work in New York City, so you definitely when you come out and visit, listen, you definitely gonna come on the show. So, Desmond is my brother, so I know he said it before. So listen, it's a trip that you might want to take. New York City.
Yeah, because from so far from what I see by Indiana, I mean, you come to New York and New Jersey, it's your life, it's life changing. You know what I'm saying? It's life changing.
Life changing.
It's life changing going to Chicago. Like it is nothing but corn and football over here.
That's hilarious. Corn and football.
I want to say something. I want to circle back a little bit because I feel like I was bashing, and I'm not trying to bash. The kids' dad has owned a lot of things and has started going to therapy. He's been in therapy for 2 years now.
Oh, that's good.
He has made huge strides within himself, but has repaired a lot of bridges with our kids. Like he owns and accepts now. I was not where I needed to be mentally to be a father to you guys. So he has definitely made great strides in that. Even great strides trying to repair our relationship so we can co-parent together healthily.
Amy, you know where that comes from? Now I only saw a little bits and pieces of your podcast with Desmond. That comes from your prayer. So don't stop. I don't know you, but I've heard you. So I know that's where that comes from. And you keep on praying and keep on your faith with God. And I guarantee you things will change even more. And I just want to say that to you.
The one thing I want to add to that real quick is this, when she told me that like her ex-husband and baby father, how they got a great working relationship where they co-parent. I told her, I was like, listen, I commend that because me, I can't. My baby mom, my first baby mom, I couldn't do it. I'm glad I ain't in that space
But you get
because
ready to be in that space.
no. Well, my first baby mom, you crazy for
You
what?
getting ready. You getting ready. Now let's you getting ready to be in that space.
Why you say that? You crazy?
Stop.
Bruh.
You getting ready
My
to be in that
first
place.
baby moms,
You
no,
know I know who Lachelle is. I mean
man,
that if
nope.
that's what yo what stop saying no. Look, watch this. What watch this.
Jeez.
What God has blessed you already with 3 new things, right? He blessed you, right?
Wait, who is this person? They know
I,
me or know you?
I they know you.
Oh shit, I don't know what it is.
I,
Because they put shell. That's what
yeah.
people call it. So I'm like,
I
let me
look,
censor
but
myself real quick.
I but here's the thing. If you already confessed that you're going to try your faith, and that's where your test will come because you have to be
I know y'all.
humble.
Oh Lord,
Look, you have to be humble. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be at peace with things. You know what I'm saying? And some things, when you walk in that faith, in that walk,
right?
bro, it is a hard walk. It's not easy. So I want to tell you that because guess what? Look, I know who that was right from the
Oh
get go.
oh.
You
Word.
have to that's where your emotions. You got to put your emotions aside, and now you have to be one with God, and God say love your enemies, love everybody, right?
Right.
Even when they don't even love themselves. That's why I
Right.
said you going listen, and you're gonna become a better person. You're gonna become a stronger person. But guess what? When you allow God to be your mouthpiece, you'll be able to say the certain things to her that will blow her mind. And guess what? However you feel about that individual, I don't say names. However you feel about that individual, I guarantee you're already an intellectual person. You're already smart. So guess what? And you spiritually, once you get rooted, God be your mouthpiece. You're gonna say things that's gonna blow her mind. And she's gonna be like, "Okay, Desmond," and then you're gonna be at peace. You're gonna be able to. It's gonna resonate because guess
Hey,
what?
I have that effect on a lot of women.
All right,
Okay,
nah,
Desmond.
nah, wait.
Just kidding.
It's not
That was
wait.
a
I
joke.
know, I
That
know.
was a joke.
But that's how
But
it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You already in
Ladies
that
and
direction.
gentlemen, welcome to Desmond's Love on the radio.
Oh, what the yeah. Yo, why you sound so different with that? What happened?
Huh?
What
What'd you say?
I'm a lady of many, many talents, sir.
what
Uh-oh.
where your mic at?
It's over,
Oh,
yeah, somewhere over there.
oh, you got a little special mic. Okay. Why you gotta show that? Yo, I ain't gonna lie. That voice right there, yo, you gonna have people like this.
Yeah, it got deep inside. I was like, oh, hold up. I checked the throat a little bit. Like,
Why you got it so far?
you don't have to show
Can
the
you hear
mic.
me okay?
Huh?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me,
Okay.
but when you got close, it got like
So I'm going to
Sound
take this
like
thing off for a second. Show it to you. Maybe.
shit. That was like Barry White. What the hell? What's that? That's the
what's that?
what? Yeah, what's that?
So this is it's not just a regular pop filter. It's
Oh, okay,
like the surround, like the foam that you do like in studios.
right.
This goes over your mic and it's like a condenser and soundproofer all in
Yo,
one thing. Like
I,
$20 on Amazon.
I promise you that sound. It did. Yeah, am I lying? Yo, it
No, no,
sounds.
no, no.
You
But
sound
that's because he
totally
was.
different when you got close. Like you sound like we can hear you clearly, crystal clear. But when you got close to it, it's a whole new sound. Like, hello, I'm Desmond Block.
Oh god.
That's crazy. Oh man, but that was good though. It's good. It's good. It's good to have you on and have a
Thank you.
few laughs. I like I said, I saw you guys interview. So yeah, it was good. And it's good that he's doing this and meeting different people. So it's a good
Yeah,
good dude.
yeah. Yeah. Let me just say this right quick. Like I was gonna say this when Rodney was on, but like we already knew. He had his thing with his wife coming up. So now this might turn a lot of people's heads, right? But um, like the difference between whites and blacks, right? Is white people are a little bit more carefree, whereas in the black community we put ourselves in a bubble, right? And when we put ourselves in a bubble, it's like how can we say we enjoy life if we put ourselves in a box? We put ourselves in a box, right? That means you're not really experiencing life itself. So how can we sit there and say we enjoy life or we live life? We can't. So I sometimes I'm like, we need to be a little bit more like white people and just be carefree. And I mean that, but like, because like white people, yeah, they with no rhythm, they don't care. To them, they're gonna have fun, they're gonna enjoy themselves. Like I think I said this on one of my episodes. Like I go into a club or something, and I know I can't dance. I ain't doing it unless I'm tipsy. Right, because I'm worried. I'm too focused on how everybody else is going to view me. Right, like so, like that's one thing in the black community I think that we need to change. You got me? You receive that or no?
I hear you. I hear you, but I'm not that way. So I go anywhere.
I didn't say you. That's why I said the black community.
Yeah,
and when I say black community, I mean majority.
I go anywhere. I'm like this. Hey, how you doing? You don't want to talk? Okay, I move on to the next person. Me?
That's right. How about your wedding? Remember your wedding? It was so awkward when I was with your the bridesmaid. That was so awkward. Y'all was like, you got to dance for the coming out. That was so awkward, bro.
Oh
I got the I got the DVD. And every once in a while I watch it. I'm like, I'll be cringing like, oh my god, I did that.
Yeah, I'm hey Amy. I'm.
Was it like junior prom where you're like?
Man, I was I thought I was killing. That's the crazy thing, because we had happy hour and they was like for the first 2 hours alcohol was free. So I was like, oh, I gotta dance, let me drink. I went on there and I made my facial expressions was there. Now when you rewatch it, you be like, oh, he thought he was doing something, and mentally I thought I was. But I'm like, oh my God, why did I do that to myself? That's how it was, man. But like, we had a good job, and nobody, well, not a good job, a good time, and nobody judged me. They thought they was laughing at me, and I'm like, that's crazy. Because in the moment, I'm like, that's cool. We always laughing, but afterwards, I'm like, dang, they all looking at me, and they like, what is he doing? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Those were the days.
What happened?
Those were the days.
Yeah, those are the days, man. Shit's different, man. It's just different, man. The one thing real quick, this is like left field, but one thing I enjoy about Rodney's podcast is his check-ins. Before he starts, Amy, Rodney that just got off, he started his podcast off with doing check-ins. He like on a scale, what they do? A scale of 1 to 10, right, Rel? Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, where is your emotion at? Like, how are you feeling? And everybody say, oh, I'm at a 3, and they counsel each other. So that's one thing that I love about his podcast. So when I want to do this thing about therapy, I'm like, it made me think about that. I'm like, dang, he really do that. Because when I do mine, I always like, how y'all doing? But but to go deeper than that and like rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, and then you talk about it right before you even get into whatever topic, I think that's a powerful thing. That's a good thing, because a lot of people like that. A lot of people don't have that go-to person where they can do that with. You know what I mean? So I commend them for that. That's strong. Yep. Now, my brother right here, his is the What's Cooking podcast. He's more religious based, and even though he might say a topic, it's always going to be about religion or marriage.
It's not even about that. It's about just the foundation. That's the foundation is on. You know what I'm saying? Right. I touch a lot of people. I meet a lot of people. Like I move around. Like I go different states, and I just came from Texas. And I just enjoy the festivities, but just meeting people and talking to them. I'll talk to strangers. The spirit of discernment, the spirit of discernment that I have, it allows me to do that. And why? Excuse me. I can go into places, but I can feel the vibe and the atmosphere and know who to talk to, who not to talk to, who I can engage with, and that's how I am. I just engage. I don't just throw, I got a podcast. Nah. I have a conversation with you first, see where it can lead, and it's not about just God, it's just having a conversation with how you doing.
Right.
It's always been judge a book by its cover, so I'm already 2 steps past that. I'm letting the person know, don't judge a book by its cover. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm black. Okay, yeah, I can talk to you. Let's talk. What you want to talk about? Anything, you know what I'm saying? So I like that. I love that. I ain't gonna say I like. I love that.
1 second, Amy, is that a shirt hanging up or somebody standing behind you? It looked like a killer, just like.
So I'm actually in my son's bedroom. I don't have like a dedicated space like to do the
No, it's all
podcast.
good. It just looked like somebody standing
It's
behind you, like
all
they
his
about.
hoodies.
Oh, I was about to say, I thought that was like Jason or something, right? Ready to take you out. Hey, Real, just to give you a little insight, yesterday she went to this open mic and this homeless guy wanted to kidnap her,
Oh
throw
my
her in the car
God.
and everything. So when I seen that, I'm like, oh yeah, that homeless guy back.
You know, what I didn't tell you was I had packed all my stuff up, so I was getting ready to leave. And I don't know if you had seen it. The one dude that was singing towards the end.
Yeah.
The girl that was playing the drums, she also plays the piano. So they started like rocking out, doing their thing and everything. And so he pulled up and was trying to sing this song. And he was like putting the mic out to everybody. And they were like just sitting there. So on my way out, I was like, I got this. So I jumped on the mic with him for a minute before I left.
With the homeless guy that wanted to
No,
take.
not the homeless guy.
Oh,
The guy inside that was doing the music.
oh, I thought you saw the one that wanted to kidnap you. I was about to say, you bugging. You
No.
wanted to get kidnapped. That's
No,
crazy. But go ahead.
No, I jumped on the mic for a minute with dude yesterday, and they were like, "You should come back tomorrow night at 7." And then I was like, "Okay." And then I woke up feeling like garbage this morning.
Terrible. It scared me for a minute. I'm telling you, because this dude wanted to take. He wanted to be like, get in that car.
So like where I was at was kind of a sketchy area. So I had my backpack, purse, and then I had my backpack, and then I had my laptop case. So I had like all the things. And I went to walk by this building, and it's an abandoned building, and dude just like steps out of the shadows, and he's like, "Ma'am," and I was like,
Yeah.
I almost dropped that shit right.
Yeah, man, you gotta be careful in those sketchy ass areas, man. But yeah, let's. Hey, Chef, you good?
Yeah, I was looking at something. Yeah.
All right, listen, I feel I've had fun tonight. I think everything went well today. Everything was on point. I feel like everybody had the opportunity to chime in and speak. And it's always the both of you is always welcome on the show. And Amy got hers. She about to start doing some from virtual, right? So she's always looking for guests. Well, I am going to conclude this, and then if Chef, you want to talk, I'm always here. You have the number, and vice versa. Amy has my number. We can always communicate. And I have my next 6 episodes booked. Even though one of them next week might cancel. She had a death in the family, and I told her, don't worry about the episode. But she was like, it depends on the particulars of the viewing and all that. But like, I probably have a replacement for that, because I feel like it's only right just to give her that time to grieve or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that's one thing I'm doing for this year. I'm just booking things out in advance.
Okay.
But yeah, let's conclude this episode for today, and then I'll talk to both of y'all, as always.
All right.
All
Amy,
right.
it was a pleasure, Amy. I'll talk to you later. All right, guys.
All right, pleasure meeting you.
All right.